So it's Easter holidays, I've brought the family away for a week.
So I've just met Carlos and...
Anyway, they're the goaty sheepy things anyway.
A 25-tonne Volvo.
Oh, do you see that?
These are the Joey mackerel.
So it's Easter holidays, I've brought the family away for a week. So we've just come over to the island of Gomera. This typical Spanish little town, it starts to come to life quite slowly in the morning at this time of year. It's not absolutely invaded by thousands and thousands of people like some of the other resort areas, which makes it quiet and sleepy and just what I need when we've been damn busy. So yeah, I've got no problems with taking a holiday. Recharges the batteries, although I can't sit still for long, so been doing a bit of fishing and we're going to have a look at a bit of farming while we're here. Really sleepy little place. So I'm off now down to the town, pick up a few supplies for the family for breakfast, get myself a little coffee and catch up with you later, hopefully on a potato farm or a vineyard somewhere. So we're on the west side of Gomera. We've just come down to a little village. I'll find the name in a minute because I can't pronounce any of them, to go look at a banana farm. I just want to show you this quickly. Is this the future of British agriculture? Look at all this. This was all farmed once upon a time. You can see all the way down these little terraces. Imagine the graft that's gone in to clearing all those boulders, all that rock to create these little terraces, as far as the eye can see. And no one's now doing anything with it whatsoever. So how does farming in an area like this, I mean, it's dry, arid, difficult, but it's been farmed like for hundreds of years, and now there's nothing. No one's doing a thing. I mean, it's pretty, but it's not productive anymore. So where's all the food getting produced that was once being produced here to feed the island and the villages? What's caused that? I know it's difficult. Do people don't want to work anymore? Do people don't want to graft? Or is it changes of policy? I reckon it's probably changes of policy. They've directed money from the EU into other things, which have made life easier than grafting, farming that. So it just gets abandoned. Don't know. Really interesting what's going on in the UK agriculture at the moment and how we're seeing all these changes in taxation and problems that we're facing. And like, it makes you wonder, do we end up with this? All the graft our forefathers have done, all put to waste? Don't know. What we're going to do now is go down to a banana farm, all being well, and maybe some potatoes, where there is some productivity. And I'll try and get you a bit of footage of driving there, because this is probably the best road that Clarkson and his mates and Top Gear never came to. This is dramatic. And the wife is absolutely hating me in the hire car down here. And I'm only going steady. So we got down that road of death down to La Dama on the westish side of the island. I just want to show you this banana farm. We can't find anyone about doing anything to talk to, which is a bit sad. But I'll show you this. So these are the banana plantations. Now there seem to be two different types of banana plantation. We've got these ones which aren't covered. You can see the bananas growing here. They bag them up. So you can see, I'm not sure why. I can only guess that we have to keep pests and diseases off. Or maybe, I know bananas give off gases, whether it's to hold those gases in, which help ripen the bananas. But you look all the way through the plantation. Huge bunches of bananas. Like, how many bananas is in one of those? All these metal stakes just propping up. These little metal stakes they put in here. Propping up the trees. Just to stop them blowing too much. There's a prop this side and then a prop that side. So they're working against each other just to hold the banana plant from blowing over. And each plant seems to produce one great big bunch of bananas. And you can see there's an irrigation system in. These little irrigators. They're all the way through the plantation. Just keeping the plantation watered. I'll show you some of the lagoons because there's so little water on Gomera on the island. But they're harvesting whatever water they can that comes out of the cloud forests. So that's one type of banana. These plantations are all down the hillside here, both sides of the road, all the way down the valley. But then there are these great big covered ones, like all this scaffolding type stuff up. Look at that, as far as you can see down there. So some of the plantations are all covered. So I don't know whether that's a different type of banana or it's the same bananas and fleecing them for pests and diseases, or whether it's an earlier crop. I'm not sure. I'm going to try and find out while we're down here. We keep going past these little processing places where they're obviously sort of taking all the bananas in and then transporting them off. This is quite interesting here. Look at the around each of these trees. There's a different one. So you can see how there's like a little circle we've created around each tree with the irrigator next to it. I'm guessing that's just so that it holds that bit more moisture around the bottom of the trees. Are they trees? Plants? Don't know. Are they trees? Are they plants? But no. Tell me in the comments. Is it a banana tree? Banana plant? I don't know. But fascinating. Like, it seems to be one of the, well, the only sort of commercial, really commercial agricultural affair. There's little plots growing potatoes here and there, which we'll try and find at some point. But the banana seems to be a big crop for them. See, like the irrigation system here coming down the hillside. All this pipe work. All this metal pipe work, great big valves. And that's all coming up. I can't see one from here. I'll say we'll find some of these lagoons and show you some of these lagoons in a bit, where they're storing water wherever they can. Just got down below La Dama and come across this. It's a terribly windy road. And this is wild. So this is the Atlantic Ocean coming in, and there's these ruins of an old factory. Long since gone. More ruins across there. It turns out the factory was built by a company that bought land up where those bananas are grown that we saw, and they made the wealth from the banana trade, of growing and exporting banana. And that led to them developing this dock for, what you can see behind me, for landing fish, which is predominantly tuna. So they were landing the tuna in here from the local fishermen and processing them, salting them and canning them for export. So the wealth of this was built off the back of the banana trade that we've seen up there from the same company. And then with the demise of the tuna stocks, the whole thing was left in ruin. But it went through a period of about 100 years where it was massively successful. This is down at, I'm struggling to pronounce it, Largemouth, down below La Dama. So yeah, the fortunes of the banana industry led to building this factory, and then the lack of the fish saw the demise of that. So you can see here in the one of the banana packaging plants. So all the bananas come down this conveyor line in big bunches, ready for loading the wagon, or maybe they're actually going into the factory this direction from the bags out the fields, and then they go in and get broken into smaller bunches and then put into the boxes, ready to go out onto the refrigerated wagons. So that's probably where bananas come from in the UK. So we saw some wild goats across a mountain earlier, but they were too far away to film. And this is the first livestock we've seen. I think, yeah, the goat. Is it a goat or a sheep? Oh, it's like a bit in between, isn't it? What do you reckon? Not a breed I recognise. So we can go zoom in on it. Sheep or goat? Some little ones there. The young ones look more like little goats, don't they? But that kind of looks like a sheep. There you go. But this is the first livestock. Oh, that's more than we realise. It's the first livestock we've seen. Look at that, quite a primitive looking sheepy goat thing. Is it a goat? Is it a sheep? I don't know. That's clearly a male. This little bit that's fenced off, it's like all full of like wild oats and maybe semi-cultivated oats, don't know. But it's pretty cool. The whole island this year is really, really lush. They've had a lot more rainfall than normal. He's a big old boy, isn't he? Look at him. Oliver was just saying that the last time we saw a tractor was when we lived in Manchester Airport. There was I think it was a 6830. There was obviously used for runway clearance or snow clearance or grass cutting at the butt. And yeah, that was the last tractor we saw was at Manchester Airport. Pretty cool. You can see everywhere, it's dead lush. Like normally when we come, everywhere's pretty dry and arid, but I think they had a real wet time. You can see there's oats here. These are, I don't know, I'm assuming these have probably come from when they were harvested, and that's like is that a rye? I'm guessing it's all spread from when the farming on the terraces was more prevalent. Just thinking about that earlier, maybe injustice, maybe it is EU changes and stuff like that, but then I guess also people are, children going to school, the world moves on, and university, and probably move away from these sort of villages. It's physical hard graft, and there are bigger trappings in the world now, and with education and stuff, and these villages probably just end up with an elderly population that just can't farm on these terraces. I don't know, but sleepy old place. Anyway, there they go, goaty, sheepy things. Anyway, just seen that. No, that is definitely a goat. That's not a sheep. That is definitely a goat. You can see down there a little potato patch. Potatoes look really good, really green. I think this soils must be seriously fertile. Come down to Vallemosa. 2 diggers. So just seen these. A 25-ton Volvo, 70-ton high Hyundai rubber duck. Obviously been doing some work on this storm drain that comes down. Normally there's no water going down these because the mountain is so dry, but we've had so much rain this year. There's a big torrent coming down here, and there's obviously been washing boulders in. But more interesting is that digger trying to get that 25-tonner down these roads. You see some of the footage of the roads we had to drive down yesterday. Every road on the island's like that, and some boyos come down here with that 25-tonner. Like, they'll be pulling it uphill. Christ knows what wagon or what engine they've got in the wagons, but the brakes coming down these hills, that must be the worst thing in the road. Like, most of these roads, they're not even wide enough to get the machine down. Like, that's proper bonkers. I don't know how they get them size diggers onto the island, because there's only like little ferries come across here, and there doesn't seem anywhere to land stuff. So you don't see many machines. We're going to have a quick look at it now anyway. I don't know how they're going for spare parts around here. Like, we don't see any machinery dealerships. There's nothing kicking around at all. If they get a breakdown, it must take them ages just to get a hose sorted. So that's that bit on the boom there, like on our 18-tonner. See, that weld's offset from the weld on the bottom. I don't know, maybe you see the weld on there, on that side of the boom? That's further forward than ours. You saw that one on Welder Faber where we had to have it mended. Where that ramp support is at the bottom, it was dead in line. That joint was dead in line with it. I reckon that created a weak spot, but that weld's further forward. I don't know if they've changed the designs on them. This machine looks a little bit newer than ours. But yeah, the old rubber duck as well, that's pretty cool. Handy on these roads. All the roads are crumbling from all the rain they've had. There's landslips everywhere we've driven through. Don't even know if we're going to get back to the digs. But yeah, it's pretty cool. They're narrow tracks, isn't it? Really size of the machine. And those tracks don't even look like the 600. Maybe the 600. They look really narrow for that size machine, don't they? That's a 25-tonner. I suppose lucky enough on this part of the world that everything is pretty firm going. It's not like boggy ground, is it, I suppose? Maybe it helps them turn easier. Not having wide tracks. I know a machine of that weight round our wet clay in Cheshire would be bogging it everywhere you went. Got cameras around the sides of it as well. That's pretty good, isn't it? On a big machine like that, watching for where people are. There's a camera on the side, camera on the back, up there. So it's got all-round visibility. I'm guessing there's one on that other side as well. But then buckets take a bit of hammer. You can see there's loads of extra bits of facing weld. Then we can see that on the back of the bucket. It's just like little blobs of facing weld that have been stuck on there, just to protect it even more than the wear plates. All they're doing is digging in this gravelly rock all the time. Let's hammer the buckets. Anyway, it's about as close as the farming stuff we can find at the moment. We'll keep driving around the island and see what else we can see. We just stopped at a little cafe on the side of the road. I want to show you some of these where they're going spuds. So you look at the soils, like they've obviously taken all the stone out of there. The soil's beautifully cultivated, it's really rich. You see the potatoes on that far side, really, really green. They've got maize as well, they've sown in there, up on the left. And then another area down on that bottom terrace, ready to go. Notice they've all, there's irrigation systems set in all over. But I was talking to a chap yesterday, because I sort of seen it, you know, like whether it was EU legislation changes or other stuff that had meant that so many of these terraces are just redundant now. And the chap was saying that it was sort of like a threefold problem. Firstly, the population's reduced on the island, which is mad. Like most places are increasing, but apparently, you know, going back 50 years ago, the population was about 3 times higher than it is now on the island. So that's probably a lot of second homes and just people moving away. He said he said the other problem is an ageing population. A lot of children going to school, secondary school, and obviously going on to university, and then just moving away to other areas where there's, you know, more employment, which leaves an ageing population which just can't work on these terraces. You know, the graft that's involved in maintaining this terrace agriculture is huge. He said, but the third reason as well, he said, like, you know, I always thought this island just seemed like really dry anyway. I just kind of assumed that's how it was. We had an unprecedented amount of rain last night. Like, we must have had 2 or 3 inches of rain. Landslips, as you've seen. So that's, you know, unnatural. They're so relieved they've got some. But the lad I was talking to, he said 25 years ago, they used to have a rainy season here, and the rainy season would be sort of prolonged and regular showers, which would fill up all the reservoirs for, you know, the irrigation like we're talking about, looking at here. Would fill up those reservoirs and put some soil moisture down, ready for, you know, ahead of planting. So the climate has definitely changed. They said they're just not getting that rainy season anymore, so it's all drier. So that's making it less and less viable for the irrigation on a load of the terraces as well. So there's like 3 problems going on the island, which is just meaning that so many of the terraces now are just not being farmed. There's loads of examples of this small scale terracing. You know, this is, you know, it's kind of like subsistence living type scale. Some of them in other areas are, you know, are larger, where they're producing more food, which I'm guessing is going to market and local market and stuff, but it's nothing like it was on the scale that it used to be.
So we're fishing down near Ballamosa with the idea that we might get big mouth bass. We believe there are a few in here. Let's see if we can get one on the surface now. I'm thinking that maybe because the river's coming in here, it's really cloudy, it's difficult fishing. But it's likely to bring food down, so we think this is where the bass might be. Oh, there's one. There's one. Oh, missed it. That was 2. 2 came out. Just bring this. Difficult for them to see the lure because the water's so cloudy. Oh, do you see that? Missed it again.
We just caught those couple of bass on that shaky footage on Oliver's phone. Oliver's got really excited and he wants to go and try and catch some more bass. So I've been looking on the maps trying to find another one of these lakes that are dammed up for the irrigation. That dirty, muddy puddle. But that just goes to show, doesn't it, what the guy was saying to us about not having the rainy season, not getting the water. I mean, this whole dam is massive. You know, across this whole valley. It's huge. I mean, the water this would hold would be incredible. And it clearly has been full of water in the past, because you can sort of see by the topography where it's like ground's flattened. Old sluice system down there, but this hasn't seen water properly for years. It's just so dry now. You know, this is the time of year when these reservoirs should be full, coming out of winter. So I'm guessing that explains an awful lot of why this terrace farming's depleted over here. It's just climate change. It's happening everywhere, isn't it? So we're in our last stop on the Canary Islands in Playa Santiago on Gomera. We're staying on the edge of a banana plantation, you can see behind me. So we're not found a massive lot of farming going on while we've been here. It's that small scale potato growing on the terraces that we've seen. And we saw that big banana farm. So you can see behind me now in the background this banana plantation. Just been doing a little bit of reading about it. So there's 2 crops at this plantation. You've got the bananas you can see over here, and then in the distance you can see over there a plantation of almond trees. So looking at the bananas, I found really interesting. So they're obviously not a tree at all. They grow out of a rhizome, so maybe a little bit like asparagus does in the UK. So the plant produces 1 crop in its lifetime effectively. So the plant grows up, produces that crop of bananas each, you know, in a 12-month cycle, and then when they harvest the bananas, they chop down the whole plant, and then that sends up from the rhizome another sucker, they'll grow into next year's banana plant. So that's why you can see in the plantation, it's quite interesting, there's a lot of leaf litter in the bottom composting down. You might be able to see down in the bottom of there some young plants just suckering up. So those suckers will grow up for next year's plant. We'll cut that plant down when the bananas are ripe and ready to harvest. Job's done. So I was looking at the economics of it, because I don't see anyone, we just don't see, when we've been driving around any of the places we've seen where there's any agriculture going on, we've just not seen a single person working in the field. And these bananas typically will yield about 50 tonne per hectare. So 50 tonnes over a hectare of bananas is a heck of a volume. Depending on irrigation and nutrition, all the plantations we've seen have got like a drip irrigation system running through them, so they'll be putting liquid fertiliser in the water to feed the plants. The labour input seems relatively small most of the year until harvest time, when they're going through having to cut that material down, presumably with machetes, and harvest those bananas. So yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. I think with climate change, even despite climate change, it'll be a while before we start seeing banana plantations in the UK. So I've just met Carlos, and Carlos has farms here. He has the banana plantation, and yes, amazingly,
banana and avocado.
An avocado, excellent. And this has amazed me. So he's just shown me his farm, and this, look at this, is brilliant. And Carlos has 2 cows. So he doesn't milk them anymore, and they're not having any calves. But they're Frisians. They're lovely cows. And I guess so you use the manure for the manure to put around the plants?
Yes.
Yeah, the poop, like
for the
plants.
Yes, for the bananas and for the avocados.
So he's using the manure
for the garden,
for the gardening and the avocados. And you feed them banana plants?
Yes.
And that's all they eat? Wow. So you can see here,
it's for the lesson to eat.
Using the banana plants, the cows are eating the banana plants. So there'll be quite a lot of sugar in the banana plant?
Sure.
So the banana plants, maybe sugar in there.
It's,
and a good fibre.
It's good, and
yeah.
And
some hay.
And the avena, yeah.
Ah, where'd you get the hay from? Do you make hay?
No. This is not from Spain. I don't know. Maybe Andalusia. I don't know. Castilla y León.
Wow.
But this is from here.
Yeah. This is amazing.
It's only a little bit every day.
Yeah. So a little bit of hay each day, and the banana leaves.
This is very dry, and it's very water.
Ah, so the banana plant has got quite a lot of moisture in the plant.
And this is
and then the dry hay.
Yes.
And lovely manure for the garden, because the soils are quite thin here. So all the plants in the garden and the avocados.
And one ballon for the football.
What's the football? Anywhere you go in Spain, they all love football. We're from near Manchester United. But aren't they beautiful? That's lovely. And look here, the shed. The cow shed's beautifully made. Look at the woodwork. If we zoom in there, that like beautiful piece of wood. Just like really well crafted. Been here a long time.
And for solar.
Solar for the lighting.
For light. Yes.
So it's really sustainable. But no calves, no milk. I'm amazed.
No, esto no da leche ni da nada.
The guys are showing us the avocado plants.
A little bit.
A little,
very
little baby avocado. Yeah.
For November, December. Aquí es mira, ¿ves?
Wow, look at that little avocado. And lots of avocados, lots. And some fall off. So
it's the floor, finish the floor.
Yeah.
Flowers.
Finish the flowers,
Yes,
and then they start
flowers, after fruit.
Wow, so you can see these avocado plants are just ace. So Carlos has lots and lots of avocados. And do they get sold locally? So export to go?
Yes, for the export for Tenerife.
So they go on to Tenerife.
And the Tenerife later for Tenerife and France y Francia, o sea, Tenerife y Francia.
So, Tenerife and France, not to UK?
No what?
England, no England? Not
No
to,
England, no.
So,
England no like.
we eat lots of avocado.
Only England beans and toast.
No, we eat more than beans on toast. Wow, avocados. So this is for the Tenerife market. I guess for tourists.
Going the person, the England for here, for last
Yeah.
in here.
So eating here. So a lot of home. So production for the Canary Islands and a little export to France. Avocado trees, amazing. And irrigation, water. So
Water every day.
everyday watering.
Every day.
Wow. And you struggle with water?
It's maybe the good is in 1 week,
Yeah.
300 liters
300 litres.
in 1 week.
What per tree?
For yes.
Each tree.
Yes.
So each tree is taking 300 litres of water a week.
It's the best. Maybe 200.
Yeah.
150. In
And,
summer.
and the bananas?
The banana es también, I don't know, 4 liters. Pero es
But every day.
sí. Every day or 2-3 days.
Yeah.
2-3 days. One aspersor de 100 liters, 1 hour.
Okay.
O sea, 1 hour, 3-4 days,
Yeah.
1 hour,
Yeah.
one aspersor de 100 liters.
But farming,
Yeah,
but farming prices stay the same.
Es similar.
Yeah, just
Es similar.
everything else.
The bananas is for one plant,
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
And maybe it's 14 kilograms de bananas, 30, 14, 50
40
kilogram for one plant.
One plant.
In 1 year.
And then you cut that off,
Yes. Later, in 1 more year.
and it grows again.
Okay. Coming for have a look. Mira.
Whoa, what's this?
No.
What are they?
No.
No.
Parchita.
Parchita.
It's good.
So they're not ripe yet. They're not. They're hard.
A
So.
ver, it's beautiful flowers. Mire.
Yeah.
the-
Oh,
the
passion fruit.
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit. Look at that. So this whole wall.
Mira la flor.
Look at this.
Mira qué flor más guapa.
So these are passion fruit.
Esto sí es una flor.
Beautiful. That's amazing. Very pretty. And all flower all year?
All
the time, all the time.
All.
Wow. This is brilliant.
A ver si por aquí alguna amarilla.
And there's lots of like this compost here. This is like,
Mira.
okay, that's a passion fruit.
The passion fruit.
That's nice. And this is like the compost here.
Compost, yeah.
Really, really good.
Primero la poda.
Yeah.
And later.
Yeah.
Compost for everything.
And the soil's it's making the soil really nice, isn't it? Yeah. Just been relaxing on the beach and seen one of the local fishing boats has just come into the harbour. So I thought this might be quite interesting footage. Hopefully they've got a catch on board. You'll see it's a kind of pretty traditional looking fishing boat. Gets quite a crowd quite quickly when the boats come in, people coming in for fresh fish. You'll see the poles on the boat. So this has been out for tuna. There's various species of tuna. And this is the more sustainable way of tuna fishing. They use these like the bamboo canes, predominantly like really big bamboo canes, and I think some of them maybe fiberglass, with a single hook on the end. And the guys generally net sprats and joey mackerel, and then just attach a single bait fish onto the hooks that you can see on the end of the pole. And they, I think, throw some ground bait chum and joey mackerels in to attract the tuna shoals, and they're obviously watching for birds out on the water to see where the tuna shoals are fishing, and then just dip the poles in with a bait fish on the end, and then flick them back up onto the boat. As opposed to when you do it with nets, obviously there's a lot of bycatch. With this, you're just targeting the tuna species that they're after and want to land, so there's no bycatch and no other harm to marine life. So it's a really sustainable way of fishing. I'm hoping the guys have got some fish on the boat and we can see them landing a few now. everything in the harbour's really well kept. Like, they look after the boats. Everything's beautifully painted and maintained. You see in the background there the little fishing port main buildings where the chillers are, and the delivery vans, so they can take them off to market to around the island that we're on and probably over to Tenerife and beyond. But it's a quiet day. It's been quite rough over the last couple of 3 days. The Atlantic's been blowing up, so a lot of the boats haven't been able to get out. So you see down the hole, that's what I was talking about. These are the joey mackerel. So these are the joey mackerel the guys getting for bait, and they just dip those in on those holes that we were talking about before to catch the tuna. So you've got all those little joey mackerel, and they're pumping fresh seawater into the tanks all the time. You can see it bilging out below. And that keeps the water cool and oxygenated to keep the bait fish alive. So I don't know whether they've just been out catching bait today or whether they've actually been out tuna fishing and caught any tuna. Yes, that's perhaps a much more sustainable way of fishing, and I know it's not agricultural related, but it's fishery, which is all under the same umbrella in my terms. It's they're harvesting the sea like we harvest the land. It kind of reminds you of back to the old MAF days, Minister of Agriculture, Food and Fisheries. It was very much farmer and fishery base, rightly or wrongly. I'm sure they have some bad policy as well as good policy, but MAF certainly sounded like it cared more about or had more focus on farming and food production and fisheries as opposed to DEFRA and all the problems we've got with them at the moment. Anyway, enough about politics. I'm going to go on holiday.